Hello singing friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Miki here, your friendly neighborhood singing coach. Today I'm going to be doing a patron request, and they asked that I look at the band Deer and Gray with their song Saku. And they wrote in their request, Deer and Gray started at the tail end of the visual kei rock scene from the early 90s. I looked up what visual kei means, and it is visual style or visual system. It's a movement among Japanese musicians that is characterized by the use of varying levels of makeup, elaborate hairstyles, and flamboyant costumes, often but not always coupled with androgynous aesthetics similar to Western glam rock. Sounds very cool. And then he wrote, they have since changed up their look and music while staying in the hard rock heavy metal orbit. Their song Saku was released in 2004 and won 2006 MTV's Headbangers Ball Video of the Year, which got quite a lot of backlash as other contenders were Metallica and Slayer. It's also evidence of the wariness that pre-2010s Japanese bands had with being online. On their YouTube channel, it was released in 2011, and as of January 2020, has only 377,000 views. All right, from their Wikipedia, it says, Deer and Gray is a Japanese heavy metal band formed in 1997, and their lineup is guitarists Kaoru and D, vocalist Kyo, drummer Shinya, and bassist Toshiya. They have released 10 full-length records. Numerous stylistic changes have made their genre difficult to determine, though it is generally considered a form of metal. Before we jump in here, my usual announcements. I'm going to be pausing at least once so I don't get my video hopefully flagged or blocked, although I did have a video recently get totally blocked even though I paused it, so keep your fingers crossed for me. And I'll put the Uninterrupted video link in the description box below, as well as how you can get me to react to a song or artist of your choice, and the links to the courses that I teach, both self-paced online, or if you want to take a lesson in singing or piano with me. All right, so that's all the housekeeping. Let's jump in and listen to Deer and Gray Saku. Oh, before we get started, there is a translation of the lyrics. Where's the fortunate future? Where does our fortunate future come? Dick men, fuck off and wipe. Get back my merrily memory. Under the sun. Then there's some transliteration of the Japanese, which I'm not going to attempt to pronounce. Then it repeats, and it says, under the sun, to be revealed as if you were to be ridiculed. The disclosure of the flow of the Red River. You walk the mountain road made of corpses smiling. Again you reach out and ants gather around the lily. Under the sun, people that can't redeem have ash tears and taciturnity in both their hands. What's cruel is that the sun and the moon come together. Even tomorrow looks away. On the red day you question taciturnity and then ellipses. To be continued. So this sounds very like arbitrary and stream of consciousness to me. I don't know if that is a consequence of it being translated from the Japanese and it makes more sense in the original language, or if this is a function of, you know, just kind of choosing sounds that phonetically go well together, you know, like more of like a Mars Volta situation. So perhaps those of you that are more familiar with this band can let me know one way or the other. But I do like some of the imagery, and I think a lot of it is, the images are kind of dark and do kind of fit with my conception of what metal music is usually about, you know, with the road made of corpses smiling and ash and tears and what's cruel, you know, it's very like harsh kind of dark imagery. And of course with the profanity as well. So let's jump right in and hear what this sounds like. pause it there for a moment so that I don't get flagged. So yeah, I think this is really striking, both in terms of visual imagery and also just like the sound of it. I really like the video. You know, I really like the way it starts with that like really kind of almost hopeless scene with those like concrete block houses that look like there's something out of like the Soviet Union or something, and like the boy drinking out of the tap, and like the bugs, and it looks like he might have been like doing drugs. You know, it's like all these images of just like abject poverty and like repression that gives rise to this type of like rebellious music. And I really like how over the top dark the image is. You know, it looks like a combination between, I could see some glam rock in here for sure, and then also just like industrial elements, you know, like a little bit kind of like Marilyn Manson, definitely like goth imagery with the collar with the spikes, but it almost looks like more like 80s, 90s goth, you know, with like a little bit of punk rock thrown in there, a little bit more raw, less like high fashion, you know? So I really like it visually. I think it's really cool and compelling. And I also really like the sound of it. I think it's really interesting, especially in like the mix and how buried the vocals are. The vocals aren't like right up front, and I really like that it's switching between, I can hear that it is a blend of a lot of genres, you know, like you have the kind of like screaming, growling, really heavy stuff, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere it opens up into much more of a melodic pop sound with like this great hooky chorus and harmonies, you know. So it's already covered a lot of ground in a very short period of time. We're only 2 minutes into this 3.5 minute song, and they've displayed a lot of different vocal techniques, and there's a lot of different genre sounds in here. So I think it's really cool and interesting. You know, this is not what I was expecting at all. So really, really cool. I like it. I think it's got like a really interesting kind of raw, almost like politically motivated violence and like punk rock energy to it that I really, really like. I think that chorus is great. The da 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 I'm sure I'm not getting the melody exactly right on one listen, but I really, really like that. That was like very hooky and very poppy and kind of came out of nowhere. You know, you've got the kind of growly punk rock metal sounds in the beginning, and, you know, very, very fast paced kind of like chugging metal guitars, and then having it open up into that pop chorus was really cool and unexpected. So yeah, really, really interesting blend of exciting visuals, a lot going on in the video, quick cuts and edits, so that I was like really trying to follow and see all the little images in there. But I found it really compelling both to watch and to listen to. So really cool introduction. I really enjoyed this, so thank you for the recommendation, and I'll see you guys here next time. Until then, take care, and of course, happy singing. Bye.